Hi everyone, how are you doing? I want to share an idea for an app which anybody can go ahead and make if you want, or partner with me, and I'll be happy to be part of it. The idea is that I think it's going to be done by someone, anyways, if we don't do it or you don't do it. The idea is that there's a trust uh, available between human beings. So imagine you have 50 numbers or 100 numbers in your phone, and you for sure um, trust some of those people. So, what happens is that suppose you trust me for $1, that I can borrow $1 and then I can give back $1 to you within 30 days or a month or 2 months. Some of my friends would trust me with $100. Some of my friends would trust me with $1,000. So imagine I have 100,000 people, or say 100 people in my phone, who or on my social network, who trust me with $1, that I can borrow $1 with them whenever I want. So now my trust score becomes $100. Uh, sim, if everybody who is 100 people trust me with $1, so now all of a sudden I have a credit rating of $100. So that's just an example. So the same thing can be if I have 100 people trusting me with $100, that becomes my credit score becomes $100,000. Now, what this app will allow you to do is that people will be able to borrow money from um, each other instead of a bank. They can then borrow money using that app. Um, my friend Michael in Sweden is running, and Bertola is running an organization called the Trust Bank. And it aligns with the Trust Bank very similarly. So I can have $100 in my phone using Bitcoin or something like M-Pesa or Easy Pesa or something, whatever allows me to have micro payments or micro borrowing from people. This will allow people to borrow. This will allow people to give people micro loans, and then there can be a transaction fees of 3% and zero interest, or they can even decide I want to charge a 4% interest or 3% interest or whatever the rate might be. The idea is that since we now live in an app world, in the internet world, if there are 2 billion people on Facebook alone, and like 5 billion people on smartphone or on the phone, there's a $5 billion capital sitting there, even if there was just $1. Some people might be in it for $100, some people might be in it for $100,000. So all of a sudden, we become a bank. Yeah, so if we have any money like Bitcoin or any dollar amount or gold or whatever the amount is, all of a sudden our assets, our bank accounts, um, are like banks. So we are now operating a bank. We are borrowing, we're giving money to people who we trust. And we can decide this is the credit limit of this person. So all of a sudden, I would have a pool of money from my friends who trusts me, and they're going to say to me that, okay, you're going to borrow $12 from me in this year. I'll give you $12 for this year, and you have to return every month $1 each month. If you don't return $1 to me each month, that means that your return score in the app will drop. So um, we can detect that so that other people who are your friends will see, this guy doesn't return the credit on time, so I'm not going to give him $100 credit. I'm going to give him a $12 credit. So like, I don't give money to people right now for this special reason, because there's a saying by Hazrat Ali, that Um, if you give somebody money, be cautious that you might not just lose your money, you might lose your friend also. So the same way, I've actually lost friendships because people borrowed money and then they disappeared because they didn't want to give money. So my policy is no more loans to anyone. But this app or this platform would allow me and other people like me to borrow money to other people, and because it's all automatic, these people can then um, people can, the system will make sure that we have a credit score of everyone. So my initial idea was to find out what a credit score of every human being, or every person with a smartphone, or every person with a Facebook, or every person with a WhatsApp. I think this is pretty simple app, but it's a very, very powerful platform that can become, and it can be worth billions and billions of dollars if somebody implements this platform correctly, because it's a need of every single person that we need to borrow money sometime for buying something or giving something, and all of a sudden the entire pool of all the money of everyone in our network becomes ours. So literally your net worth becomes your network. If you know billionaires, if you know 10 billionaires and they have $10 billion that they can invest in you, all of a sudden you have access to that money and you don't have to worry about money ever again, because they will borrow it to you, and as long as you're returning the money to them, they will be happy to return it. I think this is a pretty cool platform that it can become. So I have had it on my mind. I hope somebody out there will be listening and creating this platform on their own or with us. I'll be happy to be as an on the board or as a co-founder, but I really don't have time to really do the day-to-day job of this. That's why I'm giving it out. I always give out my ideas anyways. So if anybody's interested, show me a beta software that what you can create out of this, and I will be happy to work with you more on this. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. My name is Rehan, and you can email me on rehan@rehan.com, or you can reach me on facebook.com/rehan33. That's REHAN. God bless. Take care.